What is your take on the Enneagram?
What is my take on the Enneagram?
And will you admit your number?
Will I admit my number? My take on the Enneagram, um, it's the modern day version of a horoscope. No, I'm just kidding. The Enneagram is, yeah, a pretty rich, penetrating, incisive way of understanding and articulating our motivations, challenges, fears. Um, and I've been familiar with it for probably 4 or 5 years now, maybe. And yeah, it's incredibly helpful. Um, it can seem it's sad when the Enneagram gets weaponized, right? Like, oh, stop being such a blank, stop being such a 4, stop being such a 5. You're being such an 8 right now. Um, when it gets weaponized, or the reverse of that, right, is when it becomes an excuse. Oh, I have to be flighty because I'm a 7, or I have to be whatever because I'm this. I don't think it's meant to be an excuse. I think it's meant to give us shortcuts to transformation, because we can more readily identify what our sticking points are and what our motivations are of what's going to actually like light us up to get where we're going. So it does sadden me sometimes that I'll hear people, maybe get exposed to the Enneagram for the first time, or a new layer of it, and they aren't necessarily sure what's positive about what's going on there, or why they are that thing. Because I always think it's important to know what people contribute to the world and be able to articulate that for them. But I think the Enneagram is incredibly helpful. At this point, I identify as a type 7, probably with a 7 wing. I don't identify with a 6 or 8 wing necessarily. I definitely go to a 1 under stress. And I do have kind of 5-ish tendencies when I'm healthy, where I'll be a little bit more thought through, a little more peaceful, be aware of my own battery, my energy reserves, and go deeper into a topic and stay on that topic longer, instead of kind of skimming the surface of 1,000 different topics, which is my normal 7 tendency, which is exhilarating, but for everybody around me and sometimes for myself can be exhausting. So I think the Enneagram is a really powerful tool. The more you can learn about it, just be careful and just obey, um, heed the general kind of guidelines about using the Enneagram, right? Like, don't type somebody what you think they are, especially if they're listening, right? Like, don't tell them what you think they are. Ask questions, learn what the questions are about what the Enneagram numbers mean, what the types mean, and how to connect with people through that. Use it as a conversation point. But be careful also to not have Enneagram conversations with, like, say you have one friend here that's super into Enneagram, and there's 3 other people in the conversation. Don't have a Enneagram conversation within a larger group context where people could start feeling alienated or left out or confused. Just be wise when you go into the Enneagram language, because it can start to feel like a in club, out club type thing if you aren't aware of kind of the level of knowledge or curiosity or familiarity that everybody around you has. But if you want some shortcuts to get to know yourself and get to know others better, then the Enneagram is an incredible, incredible tool.